All right, so when the iPhone 17, 17 Pro, and the iPhone Air was announced, I did my pre-order, got it on the 19th, and I actually returned mine back to Verizon the next day, and I actually picked up the iPhone 17 Pro, which, to be honest, is not that bad. I do know that there are people out there who buy something like an 85-inch TV the day before the Super Bowl and return it the day after the Super Bowl. And I can only imagine they go back to somewhere like Best Buy and say, hey, you know what? The TV didn't fit in my living room. Another excuse, I'm sure they might say the picture quality just wasn't that good for that 4K TV. Another one I'm thinking is, I measured it from the top to the bottom and it just didn't measure 85 inches. I don't think, I'm that bad. So again, in this video, I want to talk to you guys about why me upgrading to the iPhone Air was such a bad decision for me based off of my situation. So yeah, I think it was FedEx who delivered my iPhone Air. So I got the device out of the box and I touched it for the first time. And to be honest, I was super impressed with the engineering that went into such a thin device. I was just super impressed. I think for me, I was just super excited that Apple actually did something different. I know as an Apple user, they don't change things too much. Same MacBook design, same MacBook Air design. They don't change too much. So I was really excited to get something new in my hand with the iPhone Air. So the iPhone Air is the thinnest iPhone that Apple has ever made. I think the iPad Pro may be a little bit thinner, but the fact that this device is the thinnest iPhone was definitely another reason to be super excited about this device. But after having the device for about 3 hours, and I feel like the honeymoon phase kind of wore off pretty quick. I started to realize that thinnest didn't really have the same payoff of losing things like better battery life and multiple camera options, in my opinion. So here's the thing, if you are coming from like a Pro or a Pro Max, you really need to think about the payoff, and you got to think to yourself, is it worth the payoff to have a thinner device? In my opinion, I don't think it is. I'm sure there's a lot of you guys out there who are super excited about having a thinner device. There's definitely a lot of tech reviewers out there who will tell you this is the best thing since sliced bread. But I think it's really important that you really think about the trade-off that you're making to get a thinner device. And for me, the payoff just wasn't there. And that's one of the biggest reasons I returned the device the next day. And like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, after I returned my iPhone Air to Verizon, I actually exchanged it for a iPhone 17 Pro. Now, keep in mind, I normally go with the Pro Max, but I wanted something a little bit smaller, and I kind of wanted to switch it up a little bit. And that might be one of the other reasons I went with the iPhone Air. But I did take a couple sample pictures with my iPhone 16 Pro Max and my iPhone 17 Pro, and I didn't notice a big difference in the picture quality. I think I did I want to say like a 4x comparison. No, I did an 8x comparison since the 17 Pro has the 8x mode. And to be honest, I didn't notice a big difference. So, I am curious to see how the Air does pan out over the next couple months. I am very curious to see if I see a lot of these devices in the wild. My guess is no. I think a lot of people just love the Pro and the good battery life and the multiple cameras, even though Apple put a lot of hype behind the Air. I will say, I am curious to see how the Air is going to compare to the Plus that Apple did last year and maybe the year before, and the mini option that they did with the 12 and 13. I personally think the Air, and you've may have heard this before, is a device that Apple wanted to do to kind of test the waters to what is to come with a foldable iPhone in the coming future. I think for next year or even for 2027, but won't be surprised if we see a foldable iPhone next year. All right, so that is going to do it. Just wanted to kind of give you guys a quick update in terms of where I stand on the iPhone Air. Like I mentioned, I did return it. I am interested to know if anyone out there kind of did the same thing as me and returned the iPhone Air and went back to their Pro or upgraded to the 17 Pro or Pro Max. Let me know in the comments section below, and I will talk to you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching to the end, and you guys have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.